We're here at the Esports Stadium, Arlington. This is the U.S. Army Presents Reload Collegiate CSGO Invitational. We started off with 28 collegiate teams, and we've been narrowing them down little by little as now we're in the playoff bracket. We saw upper round one yesterday. I'm Corey Dunn. I'm joined here with Jonathan O. as we're about to kick off day number 10 of this entire tournament. We've been doing this for a while now, but we haven't slowed down at all. We've actually been really been picking up steam since we've got into the playoffs. We've seen some really awesome matchups, but so let's go ahead and talk about what we're going to be covering today. So this is how everything breaks down. We're going to be kicking off with the loser bracket round one. That's the University of Texas at Dallas. They'll be facing off against Michigan Tech University. That's going to be starting at noon today Central Time, and that will be a best of three. So we'll figure out exactly who is going to be the very first team to be sent home in the playoff bracket. So it's going to be a sad story, but of course it's going to be a great game that we'll focus on. After that, we've got RMU versus UConn. That will be a best of one. That'll be our very first upper bracket round two matchup. And so we'll watch that one. That's going to be a really good game. We've seen a very, very strong UConn team. John, kind of talk a little bit about UConn and that RMU matchup.
Well, they've got a very tough opponent in themselves in RMU. As we know, they're the #1 seed in this tournament, but UConn's played great. We've seen 3 maps of them this tournament, and they've played absolutely lights out. They've literally played lights out on one of those maps against Oklahoma State on Vertigo. It was 16-0. Then we saw them on Nuke and Inferno, and Nuke, they like to go very quickly onto the A bomb site, proving to be too much to handle for the likes of their opponents. And then on Inferno, we saw the likes of Ray and Q closing down the B bomb site and only leaving A available.
Yeah, so I mean, watching what UConn was like, I mean, Ray and Q were just so much fun. Seeing them on Nuke, just smashing the upper bomb site over and over and over again, and showing why they're a top-tier team and why they deserve to be in the upper round two. After that, we've got another loser bracket game. That's Drexel versus Purdue. That is a best of 3 as well, and we'll be on the lookout for that game. It should be a good one as well. It may even go the distance there. Then we're going to follow that one up with VCU, Virginia Commonwealth University versus Kennesaw State. That will start at 8 p.m. So we're going to have a little bit of a break in between, allow the teams to get rested as well as ourselves, because, of course, we've been casting for about 60-plus hours through these past 9 days. And then we'll take a look at the second part of this. We've got UCF, University of Central Florida. They'll be facing off against Kansas State. That is an upper bracket round match. And then we've got RIT, Rochester Institute of Technology versus Northeastern. So we're going to wrap up the day with some really awesome matchups as well, and we'll take a look at that. Of course, we're all the way up until 10 p.m. Central Time. So a call out for those players. They're going to be playing at 11 o'clock at night their time, and so they'll be playing all the way into midnight. So this is a very excruciating schedule. It's a very strict schedule. So, again, I always like to give a thank you to all the collegiate teams that are competing in this tournament that, of course, has been presented by the U.S. Army. We've seen a lot of really great action throughout this tournament, and we can see a lot more that's coming your way. As, you know, there's been so many great moments, John, that we've seen. And what are some of the favorites that you've been looking for?
Well, yesterday my favorite moment is what we saw from Trinity Lord as he had that USP ace in the second half against UCF. They were kind of down and out in that series as we see Matoush now finding himself a nice 4K to start to piss around. But Trinity Lord's ace, I think, was the most standout play we saw yesterday. It was his back was against the wall, and they were in a matchup. I don't think they were favored to win by any stretch of imagination. That was a nice one there. Yeah. You just see the line against the wood right in front of him. But, this was absolutely the second best play of the day. But this was actually even the same match as 1v3. We see Blue Sky perfectly baiting out the players as he taps the bomb, gets out of it, and then he finds a nice position. Not able to find the spray through is Trinity Lord, and he gets taken out. So Blue Sky able to find himself a 1v3 bomb defuse on that third round.
Yeah, the way that he played that was just so smart and so much fun to see, and how he's able to pull it off. And then you can see just little moments that happen. Again, that was Trinity Lord in that one moment where he was down. But here's that USP. And again, he was just pew-pewing away. All of these, of course, were NVIDIA top plays that we had seen throughout the tournament. Again, Trinity Lord winning that round as we take another look. Watch these shots through the box. Hey, one more. Let's go ahead and make this more interesting. How about one through the smoke as well? And then just go, hey, I don't need to see anybody. Let's go ahead and spray away, and he gets another one. These are the types of rounds that we've been seeing in this collegiate CSGO tournament. It's been just so much fun.
And then ring around the rosy
here.
Oh, yeah.
And yep. Just really, really great stuff. And you can see K2GG, like these just different moments that have happened in this tournament that have been so much fun. But let's go ahead and take a look and see how the brackets are shaping up right now. Here for the upper bracket round, you can see at the very top, of course, round number 1 started off yesterday. And so that brings us into day number 2. So RMU versus UConn, that's going to be a great game. We're going to look forward to seeing that one. VCU versus Kennesaw, I think that's going to be a pretty close one. Kennesaw has had some good games. They've had some rough games. VCU, I could say the same as well. But if you look at the matchup, VCU dominated against Drexel 16-3. And so we'll see if VCU can do the same against Kennesaw. I think it's going to be a good game, but I do put it in favor of VCU.
That's something I want to call out is if you look at the schedule there, if whoever wins that is going to have a break. So that's the important part here.
Right.
We were talking about these schedule being strenuous for some of these players, but they get a full day break before they have to play their next winner's match.
Yeah, no, that's a great call out because once you get knocked down to the lower bracket, it's a whole different scenario. Let's go ahead and look at the lower part of this upper bracket. Then you have Rochester Institute of Technology versus Northeastern. That's going to be a really good game as well. That will happen later in the evening. The UCF versus Kansas State, that's another game that I'm really looking forward to seeing. And then, as you mentioned, you get a break, but look how big of the break is there, right? The other one was starting on Friday. This one's starting on Saturday. And so they get actually a couple days break going into that one. But the lower bracket, the loser bracket, is a different story. It's, of course, like all brackets, it's a difficult path to be able to take as we take a look at that one here in just a moment and see how the lower bracket is actually shaping up here. So you can see UTD, MTU. That's our next matchup that we'll be talking about. That's going to be kicking off the day here at noon. Then we're going to see Drexel versus Purdue. And then tomorrow we'll have 2 more sets of best of 3. That's UAH versus Pittsburgh. Then you have Miami University, Ohio versus St. Clair College. Those are just going to be really close games. Of course, a lot of these teams that are here in the lower bracket, they need a little bit more polish. I think UAH has really good potential. We talked about it a lot during the day or during yesterday about how well their gunfights are. They were winning some really, really awesome gunfights. They just need to get their polish in. They need to get their actual, the way that the mechanics are playing. They need to get in the right positions, their angles. Because what ended up happening whenever they play against RIT is Rochester just was able to out-position him, outmaneuver him. We saw it there in the clips. I mean, we saw with Blue Sky and how he was playing games. Sorry, that was UCF. But we saw how a lot of these players were playing their games and how they were adjusting. It's just all about that. It's not always about the gunfights.
You're absolutely right. And another team I'm keeping my eye on is the very bottom of your screens is St. Clair. They played a very good game against the likes of Kansas State yesterday on Mirage. I just think the X factor there was Pure Penguins dropping 34 kills.
Yeah, so lethal.
Lights out. And we even saw in the replay there was 3 kills he found. He couldn't even see any of the players. So he was feeling it. He was on top of it. He was joined by the likes of Knack on his team. And really that's just a Kansas State that they're a team that comes out and they're ready to frag. And so I think the likes of St. Clair, they looked very good on that map despite just getting out-fragged in that series. So I think that'll be a great match to watch is MUOH versus St. Clair.
So that's what we have in front of us. That's your upper bracket and your lower bracket of the 16-team double elimination bracket. It's been a great time. We've seen a lot of really crazy matchups, even more so some moments that have really surprised me. But coming up next, we've got UTD, and we're going to see how well they're going to play against their opponent, Michigan Tech University. So a lot more action coming your way. We'll be able to provide the pick bands and introduce you to the teams coming up after this. Visit GoArmy.com and learn about 150 different career opportunities available now. Esports and the U.S. Army working together to make things better. We're here back at the Esports Stadium, Arlington, about to kick off our very first match of the day. This will start with a best of 3. This is loser bracket round 1 between UTD versus Michigan Tech University. John, what are some of your thoughts going into this matchup before we really start to dive deep into these teams?
Well, we've seen UTD the last 3 days, beginning all of the days for us here. And the last 3 results we saw them. Yesterday, they lost against RMU. And then previously, the day before that, we saw that they were able to make it out of their groups, coming out on top in that second place, which got them to their match against RMU.
Right.
They actually had a very good match against RMU, being the
Valid.
number 1 seed in this whole tournament. They won 16-13 on Inferno. ASAW is having an absolute great game for himself, getting up towards a 30.
Yep.
I think it was just the difference is some of their team play seemed a little bit off. And there were some areas in which it just seems like they weren't fully together at some points. But I will say, I think they are a very strong team. And as long as they're able to keep ASOS on point, and as long as they can keep up some of those loose ends, this should be a match, I think, in their favor as they go against the Huskies.
Yeah, so let's go ahead and take a look at University of Texas at Dallas and what they have to offer us here. So these are just some of the moments that we've seen from the tournament, and probably a lot of it we're going to see is probably coming from ASOS. But there you see Yakuza, YKZ. This is how well they played here on Inferno. But they had a tough team to play against. I mean, RMU were just crazy, as you can see this moment here. As that was from Sir Trix with the taser, and he played that position so well. That was actually an eco round, and he waited for them to get the bomb planted. Now he was just playing the angle on that point just to see if a player would get the bomb planted in a default position, one player would push up. It just so happened that the bomb was planted right next to him, and they end up winning the round, which is great to see. But there's your roster. You've got Adolfo, you've got ASOS, you've got Death Hood, you got YKZ, and Sir Trix. And one of the things that we're not seeing is Alloy, who was there before. He was a substitute. We've actually seen him play a couple maps, but this is the star roster that I'm looking forward to see.
Yeah, and Alloy was the AWP we saw it in his hand, so we've swapped him out. And we saw yesterday, in fact, they looked really good with both the hands of ASOS and Death Hood. Like we said, 16-13. We have to wonder what would happen if they had Alloy, but this is the roster we're going to see today.
Yeah, that's one of the things here. We actually will see Alloy. So Alloy is going to be in placement of Death Hood, so we'll see that there coming in. So that was just as we looked at the roster. So Death Hood has been replaced with Alloy. So that's the main thing that you want to see, is that player to come out playing strong early, because we saw what could happen during a bad day. We need to see what can happen during a good day. And more importantly, we want to see what we saw from the second half of Nuke, not what we saw from the first half. So we'll see what that one to be able to shake out as. But on the flip side, here we have for Michigan Tech University, the Huskies. We'll see exactly what they've got in play here. I mean, this is some of the different moments that we saw in the game. As we can see, again, we're here with Immortal and a lot of really good play. We're probably going to see a lot of action in these clips as well from Hunter as well.
Yeah, and this is that nice finishing 4K on the round. They still lost that round, unfortunately, as they already had the bomb planted. As you see, he's getting out of the site now. The Huskies had a hard time on Nuke against UConn. UConn just pretty much brought it to them on the bomb site. They ran right in there. They tried to take everything they could, and they shut down the likes of Hunter. Because last time we saw Hunter on this map, he was absolutely lights out, getting upwards of 30 kills. And there you go. That's the lineup. We see Clean Slate, Dead O, Immortalized Jello, and Hunter. So Dead O, one of those guys we saw on the B bomb site. On B ramp specifically, was able to hold it down many times this tournament, but UConn came right in, knocked him out, and they were like, oh, well, that's the only guy they play on B, so let's get to that bomb site. So some adjustments will need to be made for their team. We know they have the potential, but now their backs are against the wall as we are in this loser bracket. So one of these teams is going to have to go home, Corey.
Yeah, I mean, the UConn matchup for Michigan Tech was just a tough one. I mean, that was all UConn all day. I mean, 12-3 for a first half score on Nuke going in favor of UConn. You just saw how well UConn was playing. We really didn't even see Michigan Tech even in the server at any point because of how much control they had. We saw a MAC-10 in the hands of Q for like majority of that game. So if that doesn't tell you a sign of what was happening in that game, that's going to be some tough stuff. So MTU has a tough play ahead of them because, again, what RMU versus the UTD game, that was 16-13 was that final score. And RMU is a ridiculously good team. They're a #1 seed coming into our tournament based out off of how Esports Stadium Arlington and NACCS had ranked them into this tournament. And so that's what we'll see. I feel a little bit of pain for MTU, but I want to see them actually come out and play like the team that we saw from the very beginning during their group play, because they had such solid group play where Deado was just unstoppable when we actually saw him for the very first time, and they had so much confidence in him. And so we'll see what they can actually end up doing here in this matchup. Now, it's time for the pick bands. Let's go ahead and shape this up of where this one looks like. Again, this is a best of 3. So we'll start with MTU. MTU was told by UTD that they could go ahead and ban first, and so this is how it actually shapes up. So you've got MTU at actually banned Train, and then after that they picked Mirage, which we'll actually see Mirage will have UTD will be starting off on the counter-terror side. Then after that you can see that MTU had banned Dust 2, and then that kind of left us with the remainder map there. But we'll go and talk about what happened from UTD, banning Vertigo to start, and then they picked Overpass. And, of course, MTU decided to go ahead and pick the CT side there. And then UTD had a choice between Nuke and Inferno, and they ended up banning Nuke, which left Inferno. And then, of course, all of our best of threes, if it gets down to a final map of the best of three, it will be a knife round to decide who starts on what side. So that's your maps. John, what's some of your takeaways from this?
We've seen UTD on all three of these, Mirage, Overpass, and Inferno. They looked pretty solid on all of them. They've actually notably won on Overpass and Mirage, whereas on the likes of Nuke, they've lost, in which no surprise to see that one banned out. And then Inferno being the decider, they lost yesterday against RMU. But Corey, if we take a big step back and we go to the very beginning of this tournament, this is more or less what I thought the ban and pig face would look like, seeing these fundamental maps as you see it laid out there. Now we're into the best of three, so it's a little bit different, but seeing this being spaced out is almost exactly what you'd expect to see from these teams. We've seen a lot of comfortable picks, and who would have guessed it, Mirage and Overpass being the first two maps being picked out now, and then Inferno being the last one. If I'm going to check my notes, I believe that's the third most picked map, and that is. So I'm not really surprised to see this at all. I think these are definitely comfort picks from both of these teams, and it's just going to shape out exactly like that. So if we know both these teams are comfortable, if they're both feeling confident, it could be anyone's game. Like you said, MTU, the Huskies, they've got themselves a little bit of I would say a little bit more of a chip on their shoulder going into this one, since we saw a lot of impressive stuff from UTD. But with that said, it's the losers bracket run, and anything can happen.
And then more importantly, this is the very first match of the day. All right, it's early, and so anything can happen whenever you start talking about earlier matches in the day, and we'll see. I mean, but we've seen UTD at the start of every single day, and of course, like you said, they've been back to back to back. So this is the same placement. They're used to that noon start time. And so we'll see if UTD changes up their tempo, because, again, they played well in their group play. They didn't play well enough to place first, but they did play well. And then they played well against RMU, and so we'll see how well they play here. And Michigan Tech University, they've got something that they have to prove here, to me, as an individual. I mean, seeing, again, I talked about Dedo for a little while about how well he played. And then you had the rest of his teammates. Clean Slate was making some decisions that didn't really make sense to me from time to time, but then he'd also have some really good op shots that would come out as well later on in the round. The rest of the team are pretty good, but just that's the problem. I mean, Hunter is actually a really, really good player, as we'll check that one out as well. But here we go. We're going to be back here on Mirage. We've seen a lot of Mirage. We've seen a lot of Overpass here in this Collegiate CSGO Invitational. So let's go ahead and see how this one plays off. Again, UTD starting off on the counter-terrorist side, and then you've got Michigan Tech University. They'll be starting off on the terrorist side. So we've got a lot of good gameplay coming your way here in just a moment. As we are, John, we are in pistol round.
We are, and one thing I want to call out about this round is that looking at MTU, about this map picks, every time that MTU has played on Overpass, they have lost. So that could be a call-out. And they've won on Mirage the one time they played against UNT, 16-12. And this is a different Texas team in UTD. As now the playoffs have begun for the day. As we see UTD versus MTU, the H to the Huskies. They make their way to the B bomb site. They're going to be met by YKZ. And goodbye, says Dedo, as he's barraged his way in. And now Sir Tricks, when we find the next one, is all down to ASOS. Just like that. He's all alone in this market. He's finding himself behind the register. He's trying to check them out, but they are going to overwhelm him. And now that is the first one on the board for the Huskies. 1-0. Corey, that is a great start from them. Dead-O specifically 3-0.
Yeah, going ahead, I mean, just a standard B rush that we see a lot in pistol rounds on Mirage. And we saw how quickly they were able to execute into the site and making things happen. More importantly, as you mentioned, Dedo getting those entries. He needs to get hot early to be that impact player that I was talking about. As we go ahead and take a look, this is your default setup. But over on the flip side, UTD is actually holding down the A bomb site super tight, and it looks like they might start to be able to be a little bit more aggressive here. They're all right here, and Jello, well, welcome. You've got a party waiting for you, a party of 5, as Sir Trix trades here with Jello. And so now they're going to go ahead and get that Galil in hand, but they now know. You can see MTU quickly heading there towards that B bomb site. As Immortal is under a lot of gunfire. He's down to 15 HP. Alloy also took a lot of damage there from UTD. We'll see. So Sir Trix, he's got that Galil in hand. We'll see how effective he can be. He also has a grenade, as well as the bomb is going to get planted here in the B bomb site. You've got 2 players that are heading through the apartments and 2 players that will be coming here through the market. Let's see if they can get these entries. It's going to be a tough shot here for ASOS as Clean Slate picks himself up one. Going to go ahead and tap away through the smoke and see what he can find. As the 2 players are still working their way through market. We haven't seen any sign of life from them yet. No contact at this point. Bomb's going to continue to tick away. They're really limited on time, but we'll see how this one plays out. Now, Sir Trix is probably going to go ahead and save this Galil for an exit, and he does get one, as you can see him bust out the knife and see if he can get away. But look out, there's going to be another player that's going to be lurking here in a second. And he decides to go ahead and advance onto these two players. But there's a little bit of damage done there by Sir Trix. But MTU picks up their second round here on the board.
That they do, and their gunplay is looking pretty sharp, as now we're going to see guns on both sides here. First time for UTD in this round, or excuse me, in this map, and we'll have to see how they're able to weather the storm. Is MTU keeping those AKs in hand? We've seen a lot of times as MTU has played, they've been one of those teams that they kind of over-rotate sometimes, and they haven't quite hit sites as we've liked to see so much, but it seems like they're trying to hit the A bomb site now as they come running out of A ramp. A Sauce is under palace, and we know how deadly he can be. We haven't seen him in this position, and he's going to find one, and that's Dedo, who's completely blind, but returned by Hunter. Alloy's going to pick up one for himself, but gets traded back by Immortal. Now that's a 3v3. They've got the bomb site. They got the bomb in hand, and now it's going down. It's a 3v3. They've got 2 kits to work with. Hunter's trying to get some positioning for himself. That's actually going to find Eldafo. As they're slowly trying to approach this bomb site. Not trying to make any noise. There's a flank coming in from Jello all the way back. He's going to be coming from Connector, and if he's able to get to that position in time, he's going to see the back of Eldafo.
Hunter, you're on fire. And wow, look at that, 2 quickly fall.
Oh, and then, yeah, that man on the flank, they still don't know that he's there. Oh, now they do, and they're going to be sticking the bomb here just shortly as the Sir Trix is going to get on it. He's got the kit, and Eldafos finds Jello. So that's going to be the first on the board here for UTD. That's going to feel good to stop the bleeding. Stop the bleeding.
Yeah,
so
just
round
like
number
that.
3 has concluded in favor of UTD.
Yeah, really good play coming in from UTD, holding it down. Even though it was, they gave up the bomb site, they had a really good retake in the end. But I think the only reason why they had a really good retake is because they only had to be challenged by 2 players while Jello was on a long flank. And we've seen him do that before, and it wasn't advantageous the last time. And seeing him try to be able to do it again, I think it was actually Valens. I take that back. That was from Northeastern who did it last time. So we'll see how they actually do it here. I mean, we saw it doesn't necessarily always work out for you. Sometimes it may be too big brain. As now we've got Alloy. He's got the MP9, and he's joined here with ASOS. And look at that, the combination of those two locking down this eco round. And so now we're going to see weapons come out here for MTU.
Something I want to call out about this series is yesterday we saw every single higher seed team win. So as we saw the scoreboard and as we look back at this highlight, how ASOS and Alloy were able to close out that round. Nice little finish there. Every single team on the left side of all of our graphics, which was the higher seed, they won. UTD going into this matchup is the higher seed versus MTU. We'll have to see if that trend continues today, but UTD's, they've been able to battle back despite losing that pistol round.
Yeah, that just means that we've done our brackets right.
Yeah, and that's always a good thing to see, is making sure we're doing those right, as we see 2 picks now falling in favor of UTD. Able to weather the storm a little bit better this time around, as we saw 1 pick towards the B apartments, and I think the other one was towards mid. YKZ is getting himself in a good position here. We've seen a lot of impacts from this ladder room. Players, it's seeming like every time someone goes ladder room, they find some sort of some conflicts towards Connector, as Eldafo is now watching towards there, and now we're starting to see how MTU is going to try to battle this one. We haven't seen them in a position quite like this yet, where they're finding themselves already early against their back against the wall. They've got 3 players left. They have the bomb in mid right now towards Cat, as Dedo is trying to make his way in that B apartments.
Yeah, I think
he's going to be spotted here shortly. There it is. He's going to be seen by Sir Trix, who pulls his gun out. Now he's just going to wait. He's going to try and make some noise, and now the bomb's going through Connector. That is YKZ watching, but he's not expecting it, and he gets taken out. So now there's a play for Mark, and that's a great shot there from Eldafo. That means the bomb's going down. They've got 37 seconds to work with. They've got to get in here pretty quickly. Sir Trix is watching every single angle for his team. He's going to find one more, and then Dedo is just going to run away, save this AK, and hopefully, in his mind, not get hunted down. Oh, well, maybe someone told him to just be on equal terms with his team as he runs back in. Trying to find something here.
See if we can get a spray there. Now you can see, of course, he's just trying to get himself eliminated. There's through the smoke. But 3 rounds in a row coming in for UTD. I think all of that was supposed to rely on Dedo to get the entry. But I feel like his teammates, and more importantly, the bomb carrier, was the one that was advancing through Catwalk. and was leading the charge, and that's a no-no. No matter what type of Counter-Strike you're talking about, that's a big no-no.
It is, and if Eldafo didn't find that first hit, let's say that went into their favor in the side of MTU, that could have been a different round. But with that said, that's the way the cookie crumbles, and that's what we see is round number 3 on the board for UTD. Something I want to call out is Alloy last round didn't invest into a weapon. He saved his MP9, and he's able to get this AK. So with that, their money's only gotten better. While we're seeing pistols come out for the side of MTU, this should be a clean pickup for Sir Trix. He doesn't want to keep taking it. Oh, that's a nice shot there from Jello. Eldafo's there to support, and so is YKZ from this connected position. He's going to see them coming out from apartments. They're actually going to get the bomb down in this situation. That's going to be a win from them. They're going to take one of those guns out of their hands and get some extra money going into the next round. They're actually able to take out even one more before Deado has fallen down. That's going to be round number 4 on the board from UTD, and you're not too upset about that if you're MTU.
Yeah, getting the bomb planted is one of your main objectives here, so that way you can have a better buy coming into this round. And you see all of them now sitting around, the worst case is 5,400, the rest are around 6K plus. So MTU will see another gun round coming in here for MTU. Got AKs there. You can see Adolfo's actually got himself an AWP, but look at his spawn where he's at. That makes sense. So they're going to go ahead and bust out the vent and see if he can go ahead and get this quick peek. As Adolfo has got his area scoped down. That's going to give ASOS the opportunity to be able to push up inside of mid. But look out for Deado. But there's action that's happening there inside of mid already as ASOS gets traded. And again, Deado has worked his way down through the underpass. He's going to join up with the teammates here shortly enough. Actually, his teammates are falling back. They're actually rotating back towards the A-bomb site. As you can see, we've got Alloy, and oh, nice shot from Alloy. That was all the way from jungle. Of course, we saw that from Immortal's perspective, and he only saw a pixel before he got dropped.
That's sometimes it's all it takes, as we see the AWP actually in the hands of Clean Slate. So trying to push this A bomb site. Eldafo actually sticking with that AWP. So he started the round with it. Like you said, he had the spawn, and he decides, you know what, I'm feeling myself. I'm feeling it in this round, and he's keeping it in his hands. Well, yeah. As they've found themselves pretty deep onto the site now, those are some good smokes clearing out jungle. Not giving Eldafo anything to work with, and the only place they have to watch is exactly where Clean Slate's looking. So the bomb is still in the hands of Jello. He's not opting to get it down just yet. They want to make sure they've cleared out everything, making sure it's absolutely safe. And now he's found himself in a little bit of an uncomfortable position, as that player in Alloy might be able to spot him, and he's going to peek out as Jello with the bomb, and he's going to get traded. And look at that, it's just falling down the stairs.
And 28 seconds left here in the round, too. That's just bad. Cannot be doing any, again, we talked about it in the previous round, and they're doing it again, and they dropped the bomb down the stairs, as now it's sitting in CT spawn and waiting. And the only way that Clean Slate can win this, oh my goodness, they're giving them a chance, giving them an opportunity here. As now YKZ, he just needs to hold this angle, but there's no time here. Now he needs to go ahead and hide behind the staircase or hide inside a jungle. One of those needs to happen as Clean Slate gives up the round. 5-2, but that of course is on the cusp of Jello dropping the bomb and challenging there. Of course, we saw him waiting there on the bench as well the whole time. But take another look here. This is that. Oh, well, okay, this is even worse than I thought.
What was that?
That's just silly. Now you can see right there as there goes the bomb falling down the stairs, and Adolfo gets another really good spawn. He's gonna be challenged there with Clean Slate. I would suspect seeing Hunter probably bait out an op shot here, but there comes, oh, they waited for their 2 players from Connector. That's going to pull him away, and that gives up window. Probably see Adolfo probably shift back so he can get back towards the window and give some coverage there. As you've got, they've got a good collapse here. You've got one player that's there towards Catwalk, that is YKZ. You've got Adolfo watching over the window, and then you've also got ASOS who's watching Connector. Adolfo actually shifts his position to be watching from Ticket Booth, and you actually see the same shift happen from Alloy, as he's now going to be watching over the A ramp. No execute yet from MTU. They molly off Catwalk, so that's starting to suggest they're going to be heading here towards Connector, possibly towards the A bomb site, but they still do not have the bomb. And they're leveraging every bit of the time, and we saw how well that worked for them last time.
Well, Corey, if I remember correctly, it didn't work very well for them many times over, as they've waited so long that they couldn't even get the bomb down. There's actually been 2 times this game where they couldn't even get the bomb down. They just had to die or save their guns, and even we saw some previous series where they've waited so long to try to get that bomb down. They didn't have enough time, but now they're making their way onto the A bomb site. Hunter's going to find 2 opening frags. That's going to give them the bomb sign. This time, I hope we see them plant the bomb. They've got 20 seconds left. The bomb is still towards the stair position. Adolfo's holding the angle, and that was a nice shoulder peek there from Hunter, and they're actually able to take down Adolfo. They're going to get the bomb down this time. As
you say that.
Slate. Oh.
You say that, and finally it starts to get planted here, but now it's left up to YKZ. So YKZ working here through CT spawn. Oh, and Hunter picks up the entry as he heads towards CT spawn, and YKZ falls. So MTU, their very first gun round they win comes in round number 8, and it's all on the hands of Hunter getting entry after entry, playing each angle very, very well. And of course, shoulder peeking, baiting with the shoulder there. A little quick AD, but look, we've got we can see this default setup now coming in for MTU. And so this is going to be a long game, not because we're going into overtime or anything like that, but because MTU has decided to slow this game down drastically.
And that's what we know of them. That's the style that they're comfortable with.
Yep.
And as we know from UTD, that's the style they're comfortable playing against, because they like to be the aggressors at some points. So I'll be curious to see as this half develops if MTU tries to speed up things, speed up the tempo, try to take a little bit more command for themselves. But Hunter, last round, was the player who opened it up for his team towards that connector position, and it looks like exactly where he's heading towards. Taking it through Cat this time. Two players are actually stacking up, and
this crosshair was not in the right position at all.
Was not. As Alloy able to find that first one. Eldofo's going to find two, but Immortal gets the trade. Now it's down to 19 HP. And whoa, that was a flank coming in from YKZ. How he got to that position, MTU is wondering. And that might just be enough to close out this round, as Clean Slate's got the AWP and the bomb in his hands. There's no players looking at where he's at, but they're absolutely going to hear him now, as ASOS is staying on the stairs, and he's going to be able to find him out. That's 6 on the board here for UTD, and they're going to find that AWP. I'm curious to see if that goes back into the hands of Eldolfo, because you made the suggestion that it was the spawn alone. And there's YKZ. Oh, okay, it wasn't a flank. He just ran through the smoke.
He pushed through his own catwalk smoke, so challenging it quickly. They were not ready for it. And ASOS has got a spawn for a ramp, so we'll see if he can get a pick here. And you can see Adolfo got a really good spawn again.
He goes towards connector, is ASOS.
Yeah, so there's an initial peak that you look at for a ramp, and then after that, you see him shift towards connector at the end. That's his final destination.
So we've seen now 3 different offers for UTD as Adolfo, Alloy, and ASOS. I guess the A's in the names and the AWP's their game. As Hunter's found a nice pick there to start off this B bomb site push. There's only 2 players there. They haven't quite pushed in yet. Little do they know there's only 1 player there, and that's YKZ. They're going to get the utility going out now. And once again, it seems like they're not
bomb.
Yeah, they're not trying to push this one out. And they've caused the rotation from the side of UTD. Eldolfo and ASOS slowly made their way over, but it looks like ASOS is now rounding back with that AWP to join his fellow teammate and Alloy on that A site. The bomb is still towards that A side.
Yeah, this map is not like Overpass, so there's not any quick rotates that happen, and so over time, a team will basically move back into their original positions. That's what we're starting to see. But we're going to see all 4 players from MTU start to take over this bomb site, and Alloy and his teammate are going to try to lock this one down. ASOS under gunfire, and their Alloy is not challenged until just now.
I'm curious to know if he didn't shoot, if they would have even tried to test that, but Eldolfo's now coming through connector, and once again gets traded out. Clean slate. The one opening up this time, and ASOS is left with 9 HP and a dream. As he's going to throw a grenade out there, says, I know where you are, Immortal.
He's hoping.
Not going to deal enough damage. Hoping that, yeah, try to push him out in that position. They're giving him nothing to work with. He now knows where Clean Slate's at, and ooh, he's able to get away with his life here. I think that's all he's going to try to get out of this round, is perhaps looking for some closing picks here. He's got 9 HP, and he's got players poking from all over the world. He's going to take one more last shot, and that's going to be his closing rounds. As it's 6-4 here for UTD. Oh, actually, you know, Hunter's getting pretty close. He misses the shot. He's going to repeat, so perfectly played there from Hunter.
Yeah.
ASOS not able to connect, thus meaning they lose that gun. And now they've lost a lot of their money as well.
Yeah, I think what we should see coming in from UTD, we should not see any ops. From just the small gameplay that I've just seen, it doesn't seem like they're playing it well. They're not making the right shots. Their angles are off. But the players have been playing really well with any rifle, whether AK or M4.
Speaking of rifles, ASOS actually fully invests into this round while his team only gets Deagles.
I was
trying to push the smoke out of place. Not quite. Just takes 2 damage for himself. And Well, it leaves a little bit of a gap there, but not enough, I suppose, as they're now taking their attention over to that B bomb site. Now we see the bombs with them, the two A players rotating in, and Hunter's leading the front once again. He's been pretty lethal this game.
He's got some really good entries.
Let's see if he can be lethal once again. He's 9-7 for himself, and he has a feeling that there's two players right under him, so he's trying to stay as far away from that window as possible, as it seems like these players are trying to stack up. They're going to boost, and they're going to see him, and oh, there goes Sir Trix falling right down. They're going to know there's another player down. Good awareness, and Hunter's able to take him out as we're speaking about, and that's 10 kills on the board for him, as Deado's now finding Adolfo in the underpass, and that should be all she wrote. If I'm ASOS here, I'm already looking to save this M4. Alloy might be trying to peek his head and see what damage he can cause, but this round is going to be over in the hands of MTU. 5 on the board for them, as their shots are looking crisp.
Yeah, Hunter especially. Yeah, I'm a fan of the boost that UTD had done. I'm just not a fan of the position that they were in. I mean, they're by boosting there, that means you feel 100% confident that they're not already there. They should have been playing an off angle as clean slate takes out ASOS, and that was just an M4 sit here. Even though I bought all up and I zeroed myself out, let me go ahead and give you this weapon. And so ASOS is just basically completely not in the same economy.
I would imagine that he did that specifically just because they knew at that point they knew where he was at. They had enough players to sandwich him into that ladder room, and that's all I can really guess at. But now we see he's
play an angle.
Yeah.
There's no reason to challenge it. You just play an angle and win those gunfights.
And that's going to spell round number 6, or excuse me, round number 5. But UTD actually getting very aggressive towards that mid position. They're going to find themselves 2 rifles. That's not too bad, and you find out in the hands of Sir Trix and YKZ. That's evening it up.
Well, John, you talked about it. I mean, MTU, they've got slow play, and it was really about what UTD likes to do, and they needed to shift the tone a little bit because what's been happening is MTU is controlling the tempo, and so UTD went ahead and basically had a record skip, and you saw as they pushed there in mid together, pretty standard from a pistol round, from an eco round, but the reality is they executed it properly, and MTU, for whatever reason, was not ready for that. It is down to a 4-on-3, and ASOS does have a 5-7. He spotted 1, but man, he keeps challenging. Just over and over again, he decides to challenge instead of leveraging his teammates. As now you can see the bomb is going to get planted here inside the site, and YKZ puts on his catcher's mitt. Now it's left up to Sir Trix and Adolfo. Oh, Adolfo. Oh, through the smoke, though. Good control. Spotted him and was able to recollect where he was located at. And Deado is now right here as Clean Slate was on fire. And, oh, Sir Trix tries to turn on him. But just like that, we're tied at 6. MTU adjusted. More importantly, I think Hunter has been really, really lights out, getting a lot of really great entry kills.
But we know he's capable of doing that. We've seen him upwards in this tournament on Nuke. We saw him getting upwards of 30. I think ASOS is playing with a lot of confidence right now, which is great. The problem is he's not hitting the shots. And so we saw him get very confident with that pistol there, with that 5.7. He could have just waited for his team, and now we see him very forward on this catwalk position. Gonna find out that there's some players below him, and he's gonna get taken out by who else but Hunter. Exposing himself a little bit too much now, ASOS. We saw how deadly he can be, and that's not what you want to do, is get taken out at the very beginning of your round. And we've seen many times when there's a top fragger for a team, as we saw like in the likes of Calm or Febreze and some of the other teams to note, is when they get taken out so early and they're those impacts players, if they're the first one to go out, many times you just lose the round immediately after. Sure, you can make the case it's still a 4v5, but just looking at it here, ASOS, we know he's the impacts player for UTD. We know he's the guy who can close it out. We know he's the guy who can get those frags. So being the first guy out's got to sting a little bit, but here's the A hit. They've got 2 players in positions. That's Alloy and Adolfo, joined by YKZ with that AWP. That's the 4th different hands we've seen that in, and Corey will have to see how much success he's able to find, as they are smoked off, and Alloy's watching towards Palace. He's going to let some of them walk in. He's not able to find a shot at the Clean Slate, and he turns his back to Palace, where he was originally watching. Gets taken down. It's a 3v4 now, as YKZ was able to find a pick in the madness. They've got so many angles to cover, not a lot of utility to do it. Only 2 flashbangs and a smoke. They might be looking to save these guns already in the hands of UTD, as there's only 1 kid onto Adolfo. They're all playing from the same position, and that's catwalk. Utility's going to go out now. And they've got the whole world to uncover, but they find one as they get traded off by Clean Slate. He's going to be found by YKZ. He's on 3, and now he's on 4. That's going to be one player left. He's on the bomb. They don't know where he's at. They're going to wait just a little bit. Actually, they didn't have time. Oh, UTD, he didn't have the kit. If they just had the person with the kit on the bomb, they would have closed it out. YKZ actually with an ace in that round. They should have won that one, but just slipping out of their grasp. And now they're going to be down onto a poor buy here.
And MTU is the one that decides to go ahead and call the timeout. So kind of taking a look at what that happened. I mean, that was the first time we've seen the op used effectively for UTD.
It just wasn't effective enough. And like we said, if it was just Eldafo holding the bomb versus YKZ, as we see here, he finds himself the 3rd and then quickly followed by the 4th as he pokes out. He gets on the bomb here. And you actually hear it should have been Eldafo. He had the kit. That was the one thing we called out. If they wanted to get on the side, it had to be Eldafo. And as the time Eldafo got onto it, they just didn't have enough time to defuse, and YKZ is able to find the last player even.
Yep.
So that's the difference between them having the AWP and a rifle in their hands to now only having pistols and then one singular MP9, and favor going back into the hands of MTU.
Yeah, those moments right there, though, are you have to have a player that is making the call out. Adolfo has the kit, and basically needs to be imprinted on the teammate saying, "Hey, Adolfo has the kit," because YKZ was in the moment. I'm not going to take it away from him. He was having really good moments. The first time that we saw nice job by both YKZ and Sir Trix. They locked it down with just Deagles alone. But you have to make your call out to your teammates and letting them know. YKZ actually pulled off the bomb and could have had enough time for Adolfo to get onto the bomb. Still, I just think that Adolfo probably heard the defuse, probably assumed he were good, and then they realized, wait a minute, it's too late. And that, roughly a second of time was enough to be able to change how that round was going to end. But now we've got it. Jello finding an opening there on Catwalk. He's both. You have Sir Trix and YKZ both fall to Jello.
An important thing to note that those are the two players that had the rifles.
The bomb, of course, was in the hands of Immortal, who was back inside of T-Spawn, and Alloy had caused a ruckus there. And now they have no clue where they're at. And 30 seconds on the round, and they don't know that the bomb, they feel uncomfortable as they're trying to be able to pick up this bomb, and they just didn't feel right about it. And so now they've got 20 seconds. So Alloy played this one really well.
Alloy's
but now
rotating.
He's playing away from the wrong position. This is something that you try to be able to cause a little bit. Oh, there it is. Just to cause a little bit of a damage, to slow them down, draw some gunfire. 10 seconds here in the round, and he just didn't watch the cross. He gave it up. He gave it what was the advantage. He gave it up, but now it's going to be left up to Clean Slate. Great shot by that MP9, but still you have to play the angle, and ASOS ends up winning the gunfight. As again, I think you put the AKs in the hands of Adolfo and Alloy and in ASOS. And you leave the op in the hands of YKZ, because we've seen 3 players that just are not hitting their mark, but YKZ doing a really good job. I think he's playing extremely well in this game. And so now we're all tied up at 7. But MTU, you got to give it up to them. I mean, getting it to the point already to 7 rounds. They've deserved every bit of what they've gotten. And UTD just having these little moments just slipping away. That have left them into a situation where they've lost rounds.
We've complimented Hunter in this half.
Absolutely.
We saw Jello actually finding a lot of great picks in that last round that could have opened it up for him and his team. Just not able to close it out as ASOS once again feeling confident with that AK he was able to find. So it's 7-7 before we go into the half. And Corey, as you mentioned, this is a great half, and that's a great shot again. So YKZ getting too aggressive, but his teammates are able to support him there. Find 2 return kills for themselves as Immortalized still sitting on that Deagle. I'm sure he would love to find one of those dropped AKs to try and even up the odds against these rifles. They know I just think on the side of UT, the AWP has just been, they try to focus too much on finding an impact skill for that.
Yep.
And as we've seen, it has just absolutely not worked out for them.
Well, maybe connector, or sorry, mid is just not their angle. Because what we saw, the effectiveness coming from YKZ was actually on the A bomb site. And now ASOS finds one pick inside of connector. He's going to try it again, and he does. Now left up to Immortal, the last one. Going to be another one. And no, it will not. Immortal keeps the Deagle in hand. He also has a scout, but Adolfo from Catwalk will finish off the round. UTD fought hard to get those 8 rounds, but so you have it. 8-7 is your first half score.
And once again, if you look across the scoreboard, this has been a pretty good team play for both of these sides. The lowest being 6-10 on Immortalized, but that's, I mean, if you just look down the score line, I would say it's pretty fairly even. As we look at this, as UTD is now on their T side. We'll have to see if they're able to do the same damage, but MTU is looking sharp. As we're starting to see an A hit, a fast one at that coming through, as there's only 2 players on this side to be able to hold against it. That is Hunter, the man who is hot, and Jello, who has a kit. So in case this does go nuclear, they will be able to have that in hand.
Great.
They're quickly getting on site, and Hunter's found himself 1 kill, but gets quickly returned, and the bomb is going to be planted here shortly as Alloy's getting real aggressive. He's trying to push very far forward, and all his teammates falling behind him, and that's going to be the round. UTD not able to secure those shots. They're able to secure the bomb plant, but MTU is just a little bit too strong with those pistols as they tie it up. And a nail-biter first match of the day is 8-8. Corey, this is not the same UTD we saw yesterday. It's, well, frankly, in the server, it's not, as we see Death Hood being swapped out for Alloy, but as far as confidence, the teamwork, the landing of their shots, just being the cleanliness of those, it's just, something's not there. It's not quite the same team. I think as far as confidence, as Adolfo's getting picked off.
That was a quick push by Hunter inside of mid. And you can see already you've got Alloy trying to take back over underpass. He's going to get traded there quickly. Not traded. He's just dropped fast by Hunter again. And now YKZ, last one alive. He's got the bomb. Only a P250 here. Goes ahead and trades himself a deagle. Oh, that was a nice shot. Might try it again. Minute 10 in this round. If he can pick up a couple more, that will be effective. As you can see the molly over the top. And see if YKZ, he's got a chance he could actually get here towards the bomb site. There's actually one player that's going to be here. That's Clean Slate. Clean Slate is holding the cross with a scout, and now he's joined here by Immortal. Immortalized to see if he can find this. YKZ just taking his time, trying to get here into the site, not making a noise. Oh, there's another one. Oh, he can make it happen. Oh, man, and Immortal wins the gunfight against YKZ. YKZ is playing well, but just needs the rest of his team to also get up on the board as we take another look. Here's Hunter. You can see how well he was just changing his position, changing his angles as he took control over mid. 9-8 is now in favor of MTU. And UTD is now on their first real gun round. And I think this round right here will tell us a little bit more information about what type of UTD we're going to see in this entire best of 3. We saw what they're like on the CT side. Let's see what they can do here.
They quickly take down Immortalized. Oh, there you go. YKZ finding onto Deado. That's going to be the B bomb site. Clean Slate's holding with that AUG from Market, and he's going to find one. The smoke going wide, which gives him the opening as Adolfo's now found Jello, and Hunter's joining his teammate in Market. They haven't got the bomb down because it is so far off the site. Should still be theirs as long as that bomb carrier doesn't get picked off. They haven't smoked off the window from Market as Clean Slate's making his way off the site. Splitting up now, splitting their attention as Hunter. Now he's going to hear the bomb going down. We should see his teammate joining him in just a few moments.
I think he's going to save it.
It looks like he's going to as Hunter's being quickly removed, and ASOS is on the hunt now. He's feeling it. And this, once again, I want to call it ASOS here. We know his, oh my gosh. We saw Clean Slate. He's trying to use that scope. He's trying to make sure he can use those distances and find the clean shot. As Adolfo just says, you took too long.
It's real nice. Take another look at this flick. Oh, hey, cool. Here.
Oh, okay. I thought it was that first shot. I was supposed to say no.
It's still awesome. I mean, he's checking towards window, and you just saw a small itty bitty CT.
Ooh. See a team knife from now as Immortalized down to 28. As now they're just barraging onto the site as this should be all she wrote. Ooh, YKZ pulling up the utility too early, and oddly enough, that's going to work out for them. They don't know Clean Slate's up there, but they're going to find out pretty shortly.
They can make the assumption that someone's there. Anytime you see some CT rush that's happening, you just assume that they've flooded all nooks and crannies. And so now 10-9 in favor of UTD as they finally have been able to take the lead back. So I still feel confident. I think the play style lends itself well for UTD. I think Hunter and Jello have done really, really well from getting some really solid T sides. Or so, yeah, whenever they're playing on the offense, and we'll see if they can be able to lock it down. I think defense, they're just different players. We shall see.
Interesting enough, the AWP going Hanson Jello. He's holding on to it from that B bomb side. It looks like he's towards bench.
Watching over Catwalk. That's a deep distance that he's watching, but they decided to have 3 players inside of B off the start of this round.
Now 2 are quickly rotating as Hunter's going to find out Duffo as he didn't check the angle. He might find another one here in YKZ. Doesn't want to take the fight. He's waiting for his team. They don't have the bomb. It's way off the site, so they're going to get this A bomb site, but they're going to have to do a marathon run to get it on over there. They're going to get it in time. There's 1 minute left. It's just that's allowing these CTs to find themselves the position. We actually still see one in dead O on that B bomb site as Alloy is able to find Jello. Continuing opening up this A site now. We're going to see the rotation coming in soon as Clean Slates found himself right behind that position there. As the bomb has now finally made its way on site 20 seconds later. Still hasn't found his plan. He wants to make sure it's in the exact right position he wants it at. Deado now joining his teammate. Clean Slate, him and Alloy. Ooh, bouncing there to take a position, and both of them very quickly taken out. And that's 11 on the board here for UTD. And that's going to hurt the economy on the side of MTU. They're just left down to pistols for this round. So this should be 12, and UTD starting to get some momentum under their wings. Not what you want to see if you're the Huskies. Reminders, this is a loser's bracket match as we're going to watch on with Alloy. See how he was able to open up that side. He saw one poking at towards the end. That was Jello. He's going to swing out, and he's going to find a nice headshot there to close it out. Hunter pretty, and like we did suspect for, you called it out, this is a pretty typical play once you have just pistols, as Jello's done some decent damage, and they're just going to get out of there.
Yeah, you're going to see Alloy probably start to toss some AKs away from his teammates, but quickly after that, they're going to go ahead and split up. And that smoke is going to deter him shortly. But you should see some. I think they left. Did they leave? I think they left the AKs. It's probably not going to make a difference here in the end of the round. But Immortalized could find himself a weapon, as ASOS now checking through the smoke, missing high, and oh no! Just as soon as he pulled out his knife, but still not enough to be able to finish the job. And so now 12-9 in favor of UTD.
I'll say this will be the first complete gun round we see from MTU. Last time we saw them, they had the AWP and FAMAS, or excuse me, the MP9. Now we see 2 AWPs, one in Clean Slate and one to Jello's hands. As they've opted for less utility for more weaponry. We'll see how it pays off for him. Jello absolutely blinded by the smoke. Guy to watch here is Hunter. Playing from the stair position. We're seeing 3 mid from UTD. They feel very confident behind those smokes. So now they're pushing up towards Hunter in that connector position. Hunter is actually to find one on YKZ, and he's going to find 2 before getting traded by Alloy. He's done his job, though. They still don't have the bomb as UTD, as ASOS is on site. Jello's rotating out from window and trying to make his way towards CT. ASOS pushing aggressively, trying to get a very forward smoke, and he's going to see the player poking out, but getting too aggressive again. They still don't have the bomb.
Yeah, they're starting to work their way toward. Now you've got 2 players, one going towards a ramp, another one in connector, and 3 players left alive for MTU. You've got an AWP in the hands of Jello. 50 seconds left in the round. A lot of time to play with here for UTD. And Alloy about to go through the wrong angle. Yep, as he thought he could find an opening. They gave it up on purpose. And now Sir Trick's going to go ahead and fake this this bomb plant. And right at the corner is going to be Jello, the one position that he does not check. He just made some quick assumptions because that's where his teammate Alloy was taken out from earlier. And so now the score is 12-10. There's 3 players to worry about, not just one. But MTU chalking another one up onto the board. But that is not going to slow down UTD just yet.
I feel like UTD, they just need to start throwing that bomb in a better position. As YKZ, he's just running out. He's got 21 kills to his name. He's going to try to find Hunter in this position, but Hunter being an anchor. Last round finding 2 before getting taken out. Doing his job from that connector position, and finally we're seeing a quick bomb plant, finally finding it in their hands. Not just way off sight, as now the retake is in full effect. ASOS goes hunting. He finds 2. As Alloy's picked up by the grenade, but this is a difficult position. Now both these players coming from CT, we saw they were not successful in this position before. Pop flash is going out and they're going to work with it. Not able to find anything, however, as ASOS has found them in return from that sandwich position. Even did some damage to Immortalize. The nice peek there from Sir Trix, exactly what you want to see. Just swung out there from Palace. Quickly finds 2 and quickly puts the round on the board for them. 13-10 now in favor of UTD. I would say a must-win round coming out for MTU. They've invested everything that they could. Only $50 left to their name on 3 different players, and if they lose this round, their money's going to be absolutely shot going into round number 25 and 26. Won't necessarily being the most great, as they'll see themselves on match point. This shotgun can do some damage, and here's a lot of footsteps. Clean Slate's got a big task on his hands, and he misses the first shot. He's able to find the second one as they coming out of the apartments. He finds the bomb and a second one. They still are able to get to the bomb site, and they've got the bomb going down, but it's a 3v3. They're able to have the rifle still in hands and the AWP. They've got the weaponry they need to make this happen, and they also have a kit into the hands of Jello. As Eldafo's going for the flank now on connector.
On cat, yeah.
Or catwalk, thank you.
Not going to make a difference as ASOS is just checking everything. So 14-10 in favor of UTD. This is just what so this is something, of course, it's easier for me to say this now, but it's something I was formulating, trying to think about as we've been talking about the way that UTD is playing. They've been so passive. You mentioned several times they're dropping the bomb here in this position before they head in towards the apartments for the B-bomb site. They're just so passive, and if they just execute right, smokes and flashes, just hitting sites, that's what MTU can't handle. It's the one-on-one gunfights that MTU can just go to town on. And right there you can see slow and steady and Immortal just winning those fights, and there you go, the quick trades, and now it's left up to ASOS and Adolfo. And look, you've already got a flank that's happening. Of course, this is an eco round coming out. You've got Deagles and a 5-7 that's come out. And Adolfo is evening this one back up 2-on-2. Both players from MTU, from Michigan Tech University, are actually here inside of the apartments. And just a series of different grenades. We get to see the whole inventory from Adolfo as he finds himself one. And close, there it is. His Hunter's having to worry about way too many different angles. And so here we are. We're still in map number 1, but we've got UTD. They're at map point here against MTU. This is, again, the very first map of the day. And our next map will be Overpass, and that was actually UTD's pick. So currently we're on Michigan Tech University's pick. And so UTD starting to find their way a little slower than what you'd want to have happen, but Jello in the initial gets those picks over in connector. And now they're starting to work their way inside the site. And Clean Slate falls to Alloy. Now down to a 3-on-2. And here comes the rotate. Bomb is still in spawn. This is what the one thing you don't want to have happen. You're giving the CTs more than 45 seconds to be able to not only retake this bomb site, but there you have it. Winning those gunfights will help solidify the round. As now it's left up to Deado. I talked a lot about him during pregame. It's just he just is not performing today. 16-10 in favor of UTD as they take map number 1 in this best of 3.
We saw 3 players on the side of UTD above 20 kills. That was in the hands of Alloy, ASOS, and YKZ. So great games out of them. And there was actually 2 players on the side of MTU who were above 20 kills for themselves. So this is going to be a boxing match of a series, and we saw that was a slippery slope for UTD when they were on that CT side. And now we're going to head over to Overpass, and they will start on the CT side.
All right, so
MTU will start on CT.
MTU will start off on the CT side here on Overpass. So we're heading into map number 2. We're in the loser bracket, round 1. So whichever team ends up losing this matchup will actually be sent home. We'll find out how that one shapes up. Will UTD advance in the playoffs, or will MTU push this into map number 3? We'll find out more right here from Esports Stadium Arlington.
shit like a wrecking ball. On fire, so high, to the top is where I'm heading. Gonna be a legend. Gonna be a legend.
Learn more about Army careers in science, technology, engineering, and math at GoArmy.com. More than 150 soldier possibilities ready and waiting. We're back here at the Esports Stadium, Arlington. This is the U.S. Army Presents Reload Collegiate CSGO Invitational. Again, I'm Corey Dunn, and this is Jono.
Hi, I'm Corey Dunn, and this is Jonathan.
I just said the worst thing ever to anybody. Don't ever call anybody a Jono. That's just not right.
I feel so complimented that you were just about to call yourself Jono. That makes me so happy, Corey. Tomorrow, you know what? Tomorrow I'll wear an Esports Stadium hoodie, and I'll wear the solid color, and then you can wear all these nice plant shirts that I'm wearing.
Man, I knew I was going to have at least one slip up in these 14 days.
But did you think it would be that bad,
No,
Corey?
I did not.
That is the worst thing you could have
done. I went
done.
full nuclear on that one.
You got the air pump, and you plugged it into my head and went...
So we can fill out that hair. That's what that is.
Oh, there's not enough space for that still. I've got a mop up here. These floors are so clean because they turn me upside down and sweep the floors with me. But we say that as we go on to Overpass. Our favorite map of this series is actually A-Track's favorite map for those watching. He'll be joining us later today. This is the number 17 on this map, and it ties Mirage as the most played map in this whole tournament, Corey. Every time that we've seen MTU on this map, I believe that they have lost.
Yeah, I mean, there's a reason why UTD decided on this map, so we'll see what they can end up doing. Of course, Overpass we've seen time and time again, just like we've seen Mirage. And again, as you mentioned, Overpass was selected by UTD, and MTU will be starting off on the counter-terrorist side. There is some benefit actually for UTD, and I'll paint the picture a little bit deeper, is MTU, they're going to be starting off on the CT side. I just don't think their playstyle lends itself too well to a CT. I think you've got the likes of Hunter and Jello. They like to play a ridiculously crazy game. They like to be aggressive. They like to be in your face and get those entries. And Dedo right now is not playing well, and I think he's one of those players that does a really good job of getting some really good holds. So we'll see how this one plays out, as it looks like we now are into the pistol round, and we'll be kicking things off right now. Again, we're here right on Overpass, and we'll see how this one shapes up. As that was actually, we'll see some replays. We'll try to get back over to the game. And there's the game. All right. So it was weird. Hopping around here for a little bit, but there we are. We are now back on track. You didn't miss anything, as they're now heading here towards Connector, and ASOS gets spotted, but Jello.
No.
Easter happened not too long ago, so we saw him just hopping along and getting himself one. Hunter is going to have. Hey, surprise!
That is so unfortunate. He opens the door, and he finds the members of UTD
so
there. And I laughed earlier because I thought it was funny that ASOS was able to find that. He was reloading. He was able to reload his gun and still find the kill on, but that was an even funnier moment, as now Dedo finds himself missing the shots, and that's not a good look for him. As Immortal gets taken down there from heaven, and that's going to be the first round on the board from UTD. And
I think somebody should gift that moment right there for Hunter, and on his birthday, it needs to send him a tweet with it. It says, "Surprise! Happy birthday!" Oh, that's tough stuff. Of course, pushing through that door, and UTD is just waiting there. They planned it. They planned this pistol round just for that moment. And so UTD picking up the very first one.
And you know, funny enough, Corey, we've talked about stacks and how they don't work. That's one of the first times we saw it work, and we saw it work impeccably.
It worked really well because ASOS took out two of them.
That is
and
true.
At that point, it's like, okay, I need to rotate, need to help out my team, because I mentioned MTU is an aggressive playstyle. More importantly, Hunter and Jello. and you saw how that ended up. Now we see a different type of stat coming in here for MTU.
We saw Zeus in the hands of Immortal.
All right. This is a pretty common spot for a Zeus.
But UTD's got a feeling.
Well, they've got a feeling because they've cleared out the B bomb site.
Corey, come on,
my spider senses are tingling. It's okay, yeah. So
no,
is
that's
my
not
eyesight.
Your spider senses. That's your team telling you, hey, go to the B bomb site.
Oh my goodness. Alloy's going, are they even playing on Overpass? And Sir Trick says yes, they are.
Yeah, we found them now. They're a connector, and they say, hey, UTD, we like that show where all of you work connector. How about you make us a visit on over here? Is now they know all of them are there. ASOS is going to go picking for 1. He's going to go picking for 2. Let's see if he finds the 3 in the sprays there, and he sure will. He finds them through the stairs, and that's round number 2 on the board. And already a good start here from UTD. I think MTU was the one who won the pistol round last time. They started themselves 2-0, and then UTD was able to tie it up to 2-0. So let's see if MTU has that same success as we see ASOS is quick picking here.
Yeah,
Even has the teammate Alloy spraying from above, wasn't able to find it. So ever elusive was clean slate, as now we're seeing a fast B hit coming through. They don't have any Molotovs to slow this down. They only have a smoke, so they're going to be happy to run on through that one. YKZ doesn't check barrels, and that's going to be Hunter taking out 1, taking out 2, taking out 3. He's able to hold it down for his team, and now it's all up to 1 player, and that's ASOS. If there's one guy you want left, it's him, but he's not going to be able to do it, and so that is round number 3. And Corey, just as we said it, 2-0 in favor of MCU. Last time, they were able to tie it up 2-2, and now it looks like they're about to see a repeat performance.
Yeah, we just talked about it. I mean, as you're playing out that round, Hunter was not checked. They did not check one of the most standard positions on Overpass in the B bomb site, and Hunter just took complete advantage of it. Anytime you're going to do a B push, we'll see if they can be able to do it again. It looks like UTD decides to go ahead and be aggressive again. But look at this though. MTU has 4 players that are watching the B bomb site right now. And you've actually got 1 player that was, looks like it is Deado, who's watching towards A by himself. So he's going to be irrelevant at this point. And Hunter waiting here. And, oh, great flash at the right time. That came over the top that allows ASOS to be able to get these entries.
Still not checking barrels. They're still not confident he's there. If there was one guy there, he'd have all the information, but fortunately for UTD, he's not. They're going to smoke that player out of position. As Immortal and ASOS is going to go hunting for him, in fact.
Graffiti's not going to get checked here, and there goes ASOS.
Man, they really just don't want to check their angles here. As the bomb's going down now, it's a 2v2 situation. They've got a kit. They can make this happen. It's down left to Alloy and YKZ. And we know these players did some damage last time on Mirage, both finishing over 20. Deado's going to warm up his game a little bit as it's left to him to finish off this round.
Yeah, bad smoke. And he's not going to know that until he gets a little bit closer because he can't see the other smoke right now.
He wasn't able to pick up the kit either, so he's got that time to work against, as these 2 players have found themselves pretty far off the site. He's going to have to go hunting now. He's going to have to find them immediately. This is a 10-second defuse, and he's just going to stick it. Oh, he found the kit. Okay, he found the kit. There was one on site. Yep. I must have missed that, but Alloy closing it out anyways, and that's 3 on the board for UTD, 3-1.
Yeah, we take another look. You can see what happened. There was a pop flash that came over the top by Sir Tricks. And you just see ASOS picking up those 3 right there. Of course, he didn't check Graffiti, but he caused so much damage to get into the B bomb site. And his teammate was his teammates were very thankful. But of course, it all started with that flashbang. I feel like Hunter would have had the upper hand. And YKZ wanted to get towards the outside very fast, and Deado's going, well, what just happened?
Guys, I'm watching Connector. Oh, they just walked to Connector. Aren't you watching that? Yeah, but they were running.
They were fast.
They were really fast. As let's see if Hunter's Deagle's able to put some out of this round, and ASOS finds Immortal. Calling over for the rotate, so they're going to be onto this bomb site pretty quickly. Hunter is able to take it down. They still don't want to check barrels because they mollied in. Oh my goodness, this is all falling apart for UTD here. Oh my goodness, these Deagles coming out swinging. They're able to pick up 2 rifles in their hands. They're going to be happy about that one, as that's 2 on the board for them. 3-2 still in favor, but UTD's money is broken. They're going to have to go on to pistols themselves this round.
Yeah, Hunter just again, he starts it up again here in this game, picking up some really nice shots, closing it out. We take another look here through the wall there, and another one. Just great control, and you can see how well they're playing that one. And of course, they did not remember the fact that Deado was, well, they didn't even know that he was there, but they didn't know to even go back to check the fact that they were going to be flanked. But of course, they had a huge aggression. They had 3 players that were coming from the CT spawn area. And so now we've got Jello's got an angle there, but there's another teammate that's right there that's boosting on top. That's Dead-O. And they're going to have to be able to peek out here. There's a spray away that took 2 players to take out YKZ. And just like that, it is now left up to Alloy and Adolfo. As you mentioned, this is an eco round. And Alloy, he just keeps finding those areas where the players are not. And he decides to go towards Bank, but guess what? There is a cashier that's there and will not let him take a withdrawal.
He trades out his pistol for a Glock there. I don't know how you look at that, but that's always a downgrade in my mind. Maybe thought it was a P250. So he's going to swap his pistol out one of these times, like, wait a second. I didn't want this. As Adolfo's finding himself with this deagle now. Last one to do it in the round. He's got the bomb, and he's got 30 seconds. If he's able to find his first opening pick, he's going to have the bomb side, and he's not going to check. Oh, my goodness, but he's going to find the shot. All of a sudden, this has become doable. I bet you he's going to go for that rifle, and he sure is. He's going to even find himself a Molotov to work with, and he's going to use it immediately. Now he's working his way towards Bank, and we saw how his teammate was taken out here earlier. Slowly. Oh, the timing. Adolfo's looking away for just a second. Dead-O, 3, 2, 1, and that's going to close it out. But Adolfo, thankfully, was able to get the bomb down for his team. They'll be happy with that. Some extra money.
Yep.
Still not looking great, but it will be enough to get them some AKs, get them some chance into this next round. As once again, we mentioned that was an... If Adolfo is looking at the right place at the right time there, let's say he doesn't look away at the last second and does allow Dead-O to get in there, that was an eco round that they had a chance of winning.
Absolutely, they could have won that round. And this is just getting nitpicky. He heard the audio cue, but knowing how this map works, he did not need to check that angle. He could hear where that player was running around at. And so he just basically got baited by that audio cue when, in fact, he just didn't check the other angle. But again, that's being super nitpicky on how you could have played that a little bit differently. They were able, of course, Adolfo got himself into that position to start, and getting the bomb down, of course, is a success for UTD, as now they've got AKs. ASOS has got a deagle in hand, but I'm not going to say that is going to discredit his chances here in this round, as the bomb has been dropped all the way in T-spawn.
I'm actually pretty curious as to why they're not giving him an AK and putting someone else on the deagle. He's been very stellar with that AK. We saw how he finished out the last map on Mirage, just taking fights and taking them aggressively. We've even seen a 3K come out from him in this round, so maybe something about the deagle has him feeling comfortable, and maybe his team even wants him to stay there, and that's where he's going to stay, as it's 45 seconds left on the clock. Once again, the bomb very far away from the rest of the team. They had to go back and find it, making its way towards A now. They're going to see one player. Jello's going to spot one towards that connector position. And they're going to now make their way towards that A bomb site. There's going to be 2 players to meet them there. That is Clean Slate and Dead-O, who is rotating off. He's going to be in a bad time here as Clean Slate's all by himself. There's 23 seconds. The XQ's got to come in soon. It's coming right now. Dead-O's quickly making his way towards the bank now. He says, oh no, I forgot to cash in my check. He's going to be met by a Molotov on the flip side, so that's going to mean a free bomb site and a free bomb being planted on the side of UTD. So MTU finding themselves all coming from the same position now, and these Ts have scattered.
Yeah, what they can do right now, they've got 2 players long. One can be a little bit wider than the other, so that way one gets challenged while the other one can team shoot after or trade afterwards. Good molly. I think it might pull one player, but as Dead-O's trying to make something happen. And there goes one towards long. Here's the off, and they're going to go ahead and start the defuse. He will get taken out, and that's going to be the round. UTD picking this one up. And MTU, their play style, just getting in their own heads, over-rotating, giving up bomb sites. It's always fascinating to me on how sometimes teams will adjust later on the round. So as we watched it, UTD, they dropped the bomb in spawn. They waited for the round. You see they dropped it again here. Pretty standard for UTD. They drop the bomb. They see what picks they can work. They see what angles they can play with. And then after that, we see something crazy. Now, Hunter's got himself an M4. As you can see right there, he's able to pick off ASOS. And Immortal wants this AK, but Dead-O shuts down the bathrooms. And now it's left up to Alloy and YKZ. They're just the way that this is very similar to what we saw on Mirage, John. UTD slowed it down, and they allowed MTU to play the game where they can have just straight-on gunfights. And MTU is just winning gunfights.
The difference there, Corey, is that MTU started on the T side. So they started so in the first half.
But backtracking, again, on whenever we were looking at the second half, when MTU was on the CT side. On Mirage, whenever UTD was playing on the Terra side, they were slow. And whenever they were slow, they were losing rounds. And that's what we're seeing right here. We're seeing how UTD is they're just taking their time. And again, this is their setup. This is their play style. This is what they do. It's just not going to work. Of course, they won the very first map, and the scoreline was 16-10 on Mirage, and they ended up winning it. But they made an adjustment. There's one critical adjustment that they made, and that adjustment was the fact that they were starting to hit bomb sites, and they started to execute. Then they went back to their tempo, and that was fine. They needed to change that up because right now MTU is just winning gunfights. They're winning each one of these angles, and Hunter's playing really well. And so we'll see what MTU could be able to do here. They've wasted 2 timeouts.
I wouldn't say wasted.
Oh, okay, that's okay.
Utilized.
They pressed the button, and we've got 2 timeouts that have happened in succession. So they get the full 60 out of this, plus the 15 seconds from the freeze time.
And I think that's the first time we've seen a consecutive timeout like that. So MTU showing themselves a good CT side at half so far. As we head into round number 9, only 1 AK in the hands of UTD, and that's on to Alloy. 2 smokes, a flash, and P250s for the rest. Not even Deagles, as we're finding Jello's getting aggressive with that AWP. He found one, wasn't able to find the pick, and actually
He takes damage,
yeah, he took damage himself. So now the execute's coming in. He's going to find Odolfo this time, and now he's not short of missing anything. As he's found himself 3, that's a nice headshot on the ASOS, and he wants one more. He's actually going to shoot and get poked around, but he's not going to feel too bad about that as they're able to close out round number 5. Looking for the AWP. There he goes at the last second. Ooh, that got a little scary. He dropped his gun, too, so he was about to walk into the next round only with the pistol he begun with. But here we go. Let's see how Jello did it. We saw on board with him last time, so great shot the second time through and finding the head on that third one.
Yeah, they were just rushing right at him.
Even with that, though, he was having a slow game, only 3 kills before that round, so that's got to feel a little bit good. Able to find some 3 rounds, and that could be the kickstart that he needs to start getting himself back into this match. As we're seeing another quick B hit. Of course, it's Hunter holding down for barrels. We saw him do this before. He finds 4 for himself. This is against an eco, and that'll close it out. So it's 6-4 on the board for the side of MTU, and that barrels position is absolutely haunting UTD. Now this time they've got guns. I see 1 Molotov in the hands of Alloy. I bet if they go to that B bomb site, they are absolutely going to molly barrels. That position has just been spelling their demise. They're going to split up this time. And Corey, one of these times I want to see them get a bomb in a different position that is not completely on the other side of the map. I understand you want to drop it, you want to put it into an okay position, but every single time they start pushing up somewhere, they leave the bomb so far behind that they're spending like 30 seconds just going to go get it. Now Surge Tricks is being picked off to the B site.
I wish I had started keeping track of the gunfights, the one-on-one gunfights that UTD has lost to MTU. Whatever they've gone through this default setup. I'd say, looking at UTD, ASOS is a great individual player and getting some really good openings, but the rest of UTD as a team, they do really, really well as a unit. And so now MTU is holding this bomb site down. They are executing here. We'll see. He's not checking the right angle. As you continue to advance, you can see there's Deado is right there on the left side. And is he trying? Yes, he sees. He could saw the. Maybe he didn't. His FOV may be completely different than ours. I don't know what happened there.
Well, even at that, he saw the smoke grenade go down and just wasn't able to rack the time. His allies poking out towards Bank. Immortal's just holding that angle, waiting for him.
Yeah, but one by one again. See, I mean, this is not an attack. They did get the bomb planted. They hightailed it out there. Now they can see if they can be able to hold this now. It's a 3-on-2. I'm not seeing a smoke. There's a molly's going to be tossed out for Bathroom's going to bait them out towards a certain direction. And YKZ spraying away. Good call out here. And Hunter trying to win this one. They're just not going to be there. And there's going to be the angle. And that's going to be the round going here in favor of MTU. Really good gunplay from Hunter there. And picking up the round.
That was a nice swing there from YKZ. He got the player off the bomb, and there you go. You see again, the smoke went behind him. Must have gotten cues. Maybe the sound was off, but he just didn't check his back and gets taken out very quickly from Dead O. He saw the barrel at the very end there.
Yeah, more than likely what happened is he wanted to rely on his teammate to give him the same coverage, right? There was a crossfire that is happening. Not a direct crossfire. He could have taken out, I believe that was Dead O on the left side first, and then checked over towards truck. But of course, so hindsight's 20/20. We just felt like he had a little bit more intel. Maybe he didn't. Maybe he just didn't see it.
And it's a lot easier for us to say as
Absolutely.
we're seeing absolutely everything.
Yeah, we've got an X-ray and all that other stuff.
And we're
too,
not having to consider all the other factors of, hey, you're throwing a smoke, you're throwing a flash, there's comms going on left and right.
Yep.
Hard to keep focus on every single thing. So just missing the small barrel there, while we think it's a big impact, it's one of those things that can definitely be hard to see on the flip side. But 7-4 in favor of MTU now. They've started to run away with some of these rounds, Corey. It was 4-3, I believe, in favor of UTD. So that means they've got 4 rounds in a row for themselves, as UTD's already found themselves pretty low on utility, and now Sir Triggs out of the round. He's 2-11. He's had some good utility usage, able to get his team on site, but Corey, I can already tell you're frustrated because you keep talking about these one-on-one picks, as now Alloy's finding himself getting picks through the smoke on that sandbags position, and just these one-on-ones is just not working in favor of UTD. Eldafo's getting very aggressive on this site now. He's pushing forward. He turns around and he gets shot. It's left to YKZ. He's got the bomb on site. He's not comfortable with planting it just yet. 2 players are going to come out swinging, and that is a great shot there from Jello. He's able to close out the round. That's 8 on the board for MTU. They did want to start themselves on this CT side, so it is UTD's map pick in which they're finding success. As we've always mentioned, Corey, CT-sided map. I will say, though, just the 8-4 scoreline almost seems like it's not – it feels like it's worse than that for the side of UTD. The gunfights they're taking, they're losing. The strategies that they're trying to get in gun rounds is just not looking great for them. Some of their team plays are just off. They're trying to get these one-on-one fights where they're not winning them, and now that's a Molotov, and they're going to see a bunch of players. That grenade's going to do a lot of damage to Jello. He's taken down first, however. His clean slate's just coming in. He's trying to do exactly that, clean out the house. And ASOS able to find AWP. He's going to do it all for his team here. If there's one guy left on your team you want it to happen, it is him.
Yeah, it's just the op is what I'm not a fan of. Yeah, we'll see. I mean, he's got tons of time to work with here, and I'm hoping that he ends up finding himself. I mean, this is an eco round coming in for UTD. So far, you could say this round has been successful. The next step in this chain is actually to get the bomb planted. But having ASOS with an op in hand, you know, one of the statements that kind of comes around in chat a lot is like, oh, he got 30 kills, so well, that's expected.
Hunter had to have seen him there on the cross.
Well, maybe
considering the rotating.
He's adjusting quickly, yeah. So, and they're going to go ahead and collapse. I mean, all he has to do is wait for the bomb to get planted, and that's the perfect trigger. So you might see a fake from ASOS, as ASOS is still trying to clean out the bomb site, make sure it's completely clear. The only place that he's not checked at this point is sandbags. And he continues to check the angles, and really Immortalized is in the right position, as there's the smoke, and he immediately goes for the plant, and he pushes through, and there's going to be the round. He should have baited it. He knew that's the reason why he smoked off over there towards sandbags. He knew that there was going to be a player, or had a feeling that there was going to be a player over by sandbags. He should have baited it out.
He should have, but in hindsight, 2020, it's
I'd already called it out before the play even happened. So.
And if he had just checked towards connector a little bit longer, he could have seen Hunter, and having that AWP, that could have been the impact. Didn't do that, but that was an eco round, Corey, and he did get the bomb down for his team. And now he's decided, you know, the AWP felt pretty good in my hands last round. I want it again. Buys it for himself, and he's going to find.
Yeah, that's a good point there, John Doe. Is that he did get the bomb planted. So your question is, and I said the next goal of his was to get the bomb planted. So he did do that. I was immediately shifting my mindset that he needed to win the round because he could win the round. So that's actually a very valid point. Him getting the bomb planted and him getting multiple kills, them taking away all those weapons, those are all great things to lead into this one. But in the end, UTD needs to start winning rounds. That's just the gist of it.
We've said this is a 9-6 CT-sided map. So we're now seeing 9 already on the board in favor of MTU. If they're able to get any more rounds on the board for themselves, that is just the cherry on top. As they have their backs against the wall. They've lost the first map on Mirage, and that was their map pick. Loser of this match is eliminated from this tournament. You see Adolfo getting up close and personal, handing in the bomb over.
Yeah, you don't want to jinx or have any issues where it ends up
lands on the ground.
Yeah.
Exactly. So now we see the execute coming in. They're generally coming out from Sandbags and from Monster. Hunter's able to find one, and now shooting through his teammate a little bit, and they're going to take the bomb site. Bomb going down quickly. That was a pretty good take, and that is what we want to see from UTD. Executing and executing as a team, and executing strong, as they were able to find the trades that they needed. They were able to find the picks when they needed it, and the utility's gone down. Even Adolfo's finding himself in a good position to watch a potential flank. ASOS even finding a pick for himself on the Deado. He's not needing to re-peek that, but he decides he's feeling confident enough that he wants to. 2 players left, both with kits, is Immortal and Clean Slate. ASOS misses the first shot. He's going to have some support from Eldafo, and he's going to find him. And Alloy actually covers ASOS once again from a second missed shot. That's going to spell out round number 5 on the boards. The last one before the half. We see a lot of money on the side of Immortalized. He should be able to buy the guns for the rest of the teams who cannot afford it. And there it is. It's the AWP going in the hands of Clean Slate.
Jello right now. And 1 for Mortal. And there you finally see, oh, there it is. It finally did drop back to Clean Slate. So just handing it off.
Did they even, I saw a FAMAS, I thought. Did they buy a FAMAS?
They probably just left it.
Okay. Hey, we saw how much that mattered with the AWP. That was in the RMU match, but
I don't
that's
think
not quite the same gun. You don't go and spawn and say, ooh, a FAMAS.
A does not equal B there. A does not equal B.
My lucky day.
Oh, man. And here we are back to this default setup. And 1 by 1.
Yeah, if you spot him there, I don't know why you try to even take that pick. That's such a long range, unless you find just an absolutely crazy shot. Zeto is pushing himself pretty far forward, as Eldafo's not going to expect some player to be that far back on the A side. He's found himself even towards Fountains, is now going towards Party, is Deado. The bomb's actually going towards that B side, and they've got 3 players stacked on that side. Even now a 4th coming in the likes of Clean Slate. They hear the Molotov, and Eldafo's going to make some noises. He has no idea that Deado's here. Deado is hearing all of those footsteps, and he's going to find himself in a position. We should see an X on that connector and that number 6, and there goes Eldafo, exactly as we called it. X marks the spot, as Deado's found himself some treasure there.
Yeah, they all stayed inside of this bomb site. That fake did nothing. And again, they didn't clear out any angles. There was only 1 molly that was thrown. And this strat is just falling apart, as now there's, again, one-on-one gunfights, and MTU just has the upper hand. Yeah, what I was trying to get to is, I mean, their strategies, the way they're playing it, just so passive, and they're working the way in, which then they're just creating these one-on-ones. The rounds that they won was from them attacking the sites. I'm not going to say like rush the bomb site like right out of the spawn and go to the bomb site or anything like that. Set up, get ready, and then execute. I don't care what time you execute, whether it's 45 seconds, 25 seconds, what have you. It doesn't make a difference. But that's what you should have been on the lookout for.
Holy cow, we are seeing a fast move out there from ASOS. Look how fast he got up towards that fountain position. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, he had a good spawn.
He's got his running shoes on. He got up there quickly. And he's going to find some action first. He finds Hunter.
No.
As we know, Hunter's hot right now, and ASOS doesn't want any part of that. He's actually going to take the fight now, and he's going to take him out. And we see 2 more players towards long. Ew. ASOS is making this USP go to work now. He wants to find more, and he does. He finds 3 with the bomb. That's going to slow their roll a little bit, but they're still going to make their way towards this A bomb site, towards A long. Deado's going to lead the front with this team, and YKZ's watching the angle from truck. Surtrex is repositioning himself, going on over to the bank. He's going to be met by a Molotov. They actually bought a Molotov here in that first round. I did not notice that, and so that's going to give away their position. And they're going to have to win a lot of these gunfights now. It's a 4v2. If they're able to get the bomb down, that's a success. There's a flank coming through the hands of Well, it doesn't matter anymore as Aldafo picks them both up. And actually, I think that was the flank coming in
Yep,
from the.
it was.
It was, okay. It's just as we call him out. And here's those nice shots. There's one. He finds the second player shortly after. There he is. And then the bomb carrier is just going to come by in 3, 2, 1. Goodbye.
Yeah, good job by ASOS. I mean, he's already at 21 kills, and we just got into the first round of the second half. So he is a lethal player.
He is, but we've seen sometimes when he gets too overconfident.
I just think that he should not have an op end, and that just may be for today. Not saying that he should never op. Just for right now, we've seen the way that he played with the op earlier. His rifle skills are so much more superior. And so here comes the push up. Now you've got Alloy. He's only able to get one, but he did cause tons of damage. Immortal and Hunter